Welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. It's FA Cup weekend and I'm joined by Paul from BlueMoonRising to pick a combined Chelsea-Man City 11. Paul, how you doing, mate?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us. So, mate, just to clarify, this isn't like an all-time 11, is it? We're picking a joint 11 specifically for this weekend's encounter.
Yeah, so we decided no injured players because City have got quite a few players who are out. You've got a few players that are out with dodgy long-term injuries as well. But the thing is, City are probably going to play a youth team, and I can't guess who we're going to play. So I'm going to pick the strongest team of the available players for City, and you do the same.
I'll do the same, and that is music to the ears actually. That you're picking maybe a slightly below par team than you would normally put out, because I suppose you've got one eye on Tuesday's Champions League game, right?
Oh, two eyes, I think.
Two eyes.
We're going into this one blind. I don't know. I'm not sure who he's going to pick on Sunday, so I'm not even going to try and second guess. Let's just see what happens on Sunday.
Okay, let's get into it, mate. So, starting off, only place to start, in nets. Obviously, I'm going to throw Thibaut Courtois out there, who should be the first name on the team sheet. What do you say to that?
I'd say he's a quality keeper. I think if we're going from form as well, I think this season, he's had an injury as well, and he's come back from that, and he's probably not been, 100%, which, it's normal. But I think Joe Hart's had a really strong season. I think the two goalkeepers, it's hard. There's nothing between them. It's very hard to pick. And I think as this is going on your channel, I'm going to let you have Thibaut Courtois for the first one. He's a young goalkeeper as well. He's got lots of time to develop. Joe Hart's probably about at his peak.
Yes.
But they are both quality. I do love Joe Hart. I think he's underrated actually.
Yeah, Joe Hart is a top goalie. In an England shirt, I'm always a Joe Hart fan. But for today, I'll accept your graciousness, and Courtois will be the first name down.
That's all you're getting, by the way. Right, from now on, it's toe to toe.
Okay, back four. Let's start at right back. Give us your suggestion.
At right back. So I think we'll have to go Pablo Zabaleta for me. He's had a long injury. City has been plagued by injuries this season, but he's come back. He's doing well. Sanya's he's been deputising him for ages and done really well. But Zabaleta, I think he's one of the all-time Premier League right backs actually, and I think
cult hero at City, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's got a Manc accent. He's brilliant. He's just adopted us. We've adopted him. So yeah, I mean, if you're saying, who would you say out of Chelsea?
I would say, and I think I've got quite a strong argument here. I would say Azpilicueta as the right back. I know he's been playing left back for the majority of the season, but he is an out-and-out right back by trade. He's played practically every single match for Chelsea this season, probably along with Willian. He's been one of the few guys that have actually put a string of decent performances together. He's constantly sort of popping up at the other end of the pitch. He chips in with his fair share of goals for a fullback as well. And as you said, Zabaleta's been, a lot of the time he's been out, he's been injured, he hasn't been in the team. So again,
I'll tell you what, Jack, shall we make a compromise here?
I'm bending towards Dave.
Shall we make a compromise here?
Make a compromise.
We've got nobody. Both our left backs this season have been pretty dreadful, Kolarov especially. I wouldn't give anybody from City as a left back choice. Do you want to stick Azpilicueta in left back and we'll stick Zabaleta on the right? I think that'd be a pretty mean left back and right back duo.
Okay, yeah, I'm willing to bend on that one, and Dave does a good job at left back. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's have Zabaleta right back and Azpilicueta left back. Yeah,
that sounds good to me. I'd go with that. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going into the centre-back territory. So normally, the first name in that position, who'd also be captain of this combined team, by the way, would be John Terry. But as we know, he's out with an injury at the moment. He's definitely not going to feature this weekend. He's not going to have the opportunity to make his 700th appearance. So therefore, I'm going to go in with John Terry's deputy. Always does a good job, Gary Cahill.
As you say, if John Terry wasn't injured at the moment, hands down, he'd be in my team as well.
Yeah.
I think Cahill, the pure fact that City have probably only got one decent centre-back at the moment means that by default I'm going to let you have Cahill, because we'll go on to that in a second. But I'll give you Cahill.
Yeah.
I think he does a good job. He's no
does.
John Terry, but
he's no John Terry, but he's steady Eddie. And I think, you know, whenever he's asked to come on and do a job, he does it with aplomb. And he's a real defender's defender. And I've got a lot of love for Cahill. So if you're happy with Cahill, I'm happy with Cahill. In he goes.
I'm sure you are, yeah. So for the next position, I think you know who I'm going to say. If you'd have asked me this, if we'd done this a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he would have been injured, but he's just come back, thankfully, and he is this team's captain. Yeah. It's Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, I think he's your John Terry, isn't he? And I'm not going to stand here and argue against him. He's a fantastic player. I think any Premier League team would want a fit Vincent Kompany in their back four without a doubt. So I'll give you that one, Paul. In he goes.
All right, cheers, mate. Where are we on to next?
So I guess one thing we haven't spoken about is what sort of formation we're going to play. Now, normally Chelsea and a lot of other Premier League teams would play, you know, the five in midfield with the one lone striker. However, sort of jumping ahead of myself a bit here, but I think we should go 4-4-2 because I think we've both got a striker in our squad that we will insist starts. So if you're happy to go 4-4-2. We can talk about the midfield four rather than the midfield five.
Okay, it seems like we're doing our best to not fall out here,
we are,
Jack.
we're being nice. You know, the animosity starts on Sunday, mate.
That's it, on Sunday, yeah. No mates there. Okay, go for it. We'll go 4-4-2. I don't think it's what either of our teams play, but for the sake of our continued friendship.
Well, this is it. And I'm quite happy to argue the toss of Diego Costa as the lone striker. However, I'm not that much of a Philistine that... I could completely ignore someone like Sergio Aguero.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, we'll get to that. Let's go 4-4-2 then. So two holding central midfielders.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Where do you want to start? In the centre?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a tricky one for me. Okay, so there's two options that I'm going to throw in. I'm hoping to get one of them. There's Fabregas and Oscar. I think Fabregas, since Gus Hiddink has come in, has been, it's changed his form around. He's been a bit of a revelation. He's been picking up the ball in those areas that he just wasn't doing under Jose Mourinho. He's been setting up goals again. He's up there, I think, a joint level with Costa and Willian in terms of how many assists he's got this season. So I'm gonna plump Cesc Fabregas centre mid to begin with. The other one is Oscar. And I love Oscar, and I think in a game, I think Rory touched on it actually in the preview that he did, that in a game like this game against Man City, you need someone in the middle that has not only got the skill and the guile and the touch that we know that Oscar has, but has also got that work rate. And I think Oscar, a lot of people don't appreciate how much work he actually, when he fancies it, that is, how much work he puts in. He can put in a really good shift. He loves a tackle. So it's a tricky one for me. So the two centre mids I'm going to put forward from my camp is Fabregas and Oscar. So I'll let you put two in from your camp and then we'll fight it out who's going to get picked. Okay, so I guess the starting two for City, if everybody's fit, is Yaya Toure and Fernandinho. I'll start with David Silva, or is he more out wide?
He'd go forward a bit more. He would normally play just behind the striker.
But in this 4-4-2 regime, you've got to start thinking about that.
I think Silva can play out on the wings as well if necessary. I think in this sort of game, we'd probably put him out wide. So Toure and Fernandinho. I think Toure is one of the Premier League's all-time greats. If we're talking about form, though, he's gone off the boil, and he's been
quite quiet this season, hasn't he, compared to the Toure of previous years.
I mean, when a couple of seasons ago, when we won the league, he was bagging. I think he bagged 23 goals, and from midfield, he's just unstoppable. And he literally was unstoppable when he got going. But this season, he's a shadow of himself, really. And I think
what is that? Is that attitude? Is that injuries? What is it, mate?
I wish I knew. A lot of people throw the word laziness around, like he just doesn't care anymore.
Really?
I don't know. I think it's his age catching up with him a bit. Maybe a bit of an attitude problem. He's a bit of a diva, to be honest. And I think when Guardiola comes, they've got history. So
from Barcelona.
So I'm not sure if he's going to be with us much longer. But anyway, that's a story for another day. And then Fernandinho, he's been one of our best players this season. So I would go I'd go with Fernandinho if we're going off form at the moment. So Fernandinho is the one name I'm going to definitely throw in there.
Okay, so if we're in this spirit of togetherness that we seem to be developing here, if we say that Fernandinho is going to be one centre midfielder, so I've now got the choice of Oscar and Fabregas, which is it's a tricky one. It's a very tough one, and there really isn't a lot to split these two. I think Fabregas, since Hiddink's come in, maybe has been the more consistent, but Oscar scored a hat-trick in the last round of the Cup, and I think Oscar likes the FA Cup. So, for that romantic reason only, Oscar is going centre mid.
Okay, the magic of the Cup. Some players just like it, don't they?
They do, yeah. And,
exactly. So, why not? I'll go with that.
Good stuff. Okay, out on the wings. I'm going to go straight in there. Right mid has got to be the player of the season, the man, the magic, the beauty that is Willian. What are you saying?
Do you know what? I think Willian, one of the matches I've seen of Chelsea, he has just provided that spark, that dynamism, that, making those runs, picking up the ball from deep, carrying it forward. He's the sort of player I think City would love to have.
Keep your hands off him.
Get the checkbook out, Sheikh Mansour.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't see it happening. I've never seen him linked with us, to be honest. I'm not saying it for that reason, but I do think he is that. We've suffered a little bit from an aging squad, a little bit, and like I say, with certain players maybe not pulling the weight. Willian, I think in your, the dark days at the start of this season, he's that player who's pulled you through some games.
But that's what makes his effort all the more outstanding, really, this year, is that he's been an outstanding player playing in a really poor side for the majority of the year. So I think his achievements on the pitch this year should be celebrated even more because he's been doing it in such a dire team.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Often when you're in a team that isn't at the top end, you might not get sometimes you don't get noticed as much because you don't get plaudits, blah blah blah. So it's tough because there's other players that from City that could definitely. I mean, we've got an embarrassment of riches up front, and but anyway, I'll give you Willian.
We can't not put Willian in, and this is a Chelsea Fans Channel video, so there would be absolute outrage if we didn't put him in.
If this was going out on our channel, I'd be fighting for this one maybe. But sure no, go on. Okay. I'm trying to win the popularity of your fans. So I'll give you that one.
Nice one. We appreciate it. So if we're taking right wing, who are you throwing forward for left?
Normally that's where Sterling would play, but he's not our best player, and
Is he a waste of money, Paul? Yes or no answer?
No, I'm a big defender of Raheem Sterling. He's just not our best player yet, and we're buying potential, and I think he really will be a class act. And all the pundits, well, most of them, agree that he will get there, but he's just he's still so young.
He's so young. People forget how young he is.
Yeah, because everyone just thinks about the money. And, it's not fair on him, I don't think. But I'm sure your viewers will have other ideas on that. But I think the player I'd put in there is between Silva and... Well, it'd be between Silva and De Bruyne, but you've said that as we're not going with any injured players, it's got to be David Silva, one of the best left foots I've ever seen. He's just magnificent.
Wonderful. Like such an intelligent footballer as well.
He is, yeah. I've heard
he's 2-3 steps ahead of everyone else, isn't he? Very, very much in a sort of Fabregas guise. He can pick out that pass. He can see the passage of play before it actually unravels. A very, very classy midfielder.
It's the Spanish style, I think, isn't it? It's all about intelligence, guile.
They teach him well over there, don't they?
Say that again?
They teach him well over there.
I know we need to get their scouts or something, but
don't we? Yeah.
But so I'm gonna stick David El Mago, the magician, Silva on the left.
Okay, I think that's a solid looking midfield. So now we get to the exciting bit, and I think this area sort of writes itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there can be any debate when we're going with a 2. I think this video would have gone on for 2 hours if we were playing with a 1 up front. Yeah. But go on, take it away.
Okay, it's got to be Diego Costa. Such a revelation since Hiddink's come in. He literally looks like a different player. He's slimmed down. He's not spending so much time getting into fights and arguments with people. He's more interested in getting on the back of the defender and getting in behind and trying to create chances. He's scored. I think he scored like 8 goals in his last 10 games or something like that. He's got 10 goals in total this season, and like 85% of those have been under Hiddink. Why Diego wasn't doing it at the start of the season is anyone's guess. I mean, it's that enigma that lies around most of our squad, to be honest. But certainly there can be no denying the love that I'm currently feeling for Costa, because every time I've seen him in recent weeks go out on the pitch, he's fighting and he's battling and he's doing it all for the club. So Diego Costa looking red hot, looking very much an in-form striker at the moment. For me, is definitely going down on the team sheet.
Okay, from one South American street fighter to another then, Sergio Aguero, possibly our all-time greatest ever player. He could definitely reach that level if he's not reached it yet. He's just...
Could overtake the great Paulo Wanchope at one stage, hopefully.
Say that again?
He could overtake the great Paulo Wanchope at one stage in City's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I know Sean Goater has provided a bit of competition, but apart from that, no, he's just a superb player, and I'd go as far to say underrated. He's never been in, and I don't think he's ever been in the PFA Team of the Year in the Premier League, which is just a scandal. Yeah,
wow,
it's mad.
That is astonishing. That really is.
Probably a bit down to injuries, maybe, but still, it's not a good enough excuse when he's getting Golden Boot. That's even though he's got his injuries.
I think if we look back on he probably, I mean it's a very tough group to win a place in, but he would probably, in my opinion, win a place in the all-time top 5 Premier League strikers. I think you've got a place for Aguero. You've definitely got a place for Didier Drogba. Of course, there's got to be Henry. There's got to be Shearer, and then maybe one other. The 5th spot. Could be up for debate. Let us know in the comments below if you've got an answer for who should be named 5th in that list. Anyway, enough of that. Aguero, I think you put forward a very good case. I think I would be, a blind man to ignore someone like that. So, yes, I think Costa and Aguero up front would strike a lot of fear into a lot of defenders' hearts.
Ooh, nice team we've got built there, I must say, Jack.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Right, Paul. Well, before we wrap this up, quick predictions about the game. I mean, you mentioned earlier that you're probably going to play a weakened team. You've definitely got half an eye on the Champions League game next week. So, is this going to be a walkover for Chelsea? What are you thinking?
You know what? I'm worried that Chelsea could. I think you just hit in form. You've just hammered Newcastle. City are in a bit of a slump at the moment. We've come off 2 defeats in a row in the Premier League. We've got to get something out of this. I'm going to say... and
the last thing you want is a replay as well, I'm sure.
That's exactly it. Yeah, you're so right. I do not know what this game is going to finish. I think I'm going to say 2-1 City, but I just do not know. I'll say 2-1 City.
Right, okay. Well, get off. No, of course it's not going to be 2-1 City. Chelsea are going to win. I think we're going to win this cup. I think Man City are... If we can knock Man City out at this early stage, then I think that will give us the confidence and belief to go on and win it. It's a competition that Chelsea fans are used to winning. We like a trip to Wembley, and I think Gus Hiddink will put out a strongest team that he can against you. So if you take that into consideration when you're saying that you're probably going to field maybe a slightly weakened team, maybe throw a few of your youngsters in there or your reserve team players, I think our starting 11 might be a bit too much for you.
And you know what?
I'm going to go
I think
2-1 Chelsea. Right. I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
Could happen. We'll see anyway. Hope it's a good game.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Well, mate, thank you very much for joining us on the Chelsea Fans Channel.
Anytime, mate.
And we'll see you again soon. And remember, royal blue is the colour.